Yeah. You basically just move that field this way. Okay, so typically field. It looks like it's. Yeah, I think we need to move it more to the center. Who said that? Well, the codex for that takes last time. Yeah. These are terms from last time. Yeah. I think they just packed up the one field. That sounds like it. I mean, yeah, we can move it up to sounds like a good idea. Yeah. I mean, we can ask the expert who's sitting right here.
Oh, how's it?
Hi.
Yeah.
Do you want us to move the first field up closer? Because right now it's the yellow cones, right? So that's.
Oh, okay. Yeah, it would be better. Yeah. Yeah, if it wouldn't be too much of a schlep.
Yeah, it will be fine.
All right.
Dimension. About 37 wide, 100 meter long, 18 meter end zones. It should have. I mean, the main thing is theoretically it should line up if we just pick up a cone, walk for 5 steps or something, and do the same for all of them. We're gonna move on 20 steps. Okay. Yeah, move it up closer to the. That's what.
Very good. Hannah, do you know what color Nomad fits? White. Cool. Yeah? Yeah, no, everything is fine. Yeah, he's good. Yeah, yeah. Sabo, power raid. Are they open? Oh, you go. I'm good at yourself, bro. I'm good, bro. I'm good. And yourself? Wait, dude. I what? For the stream? Yeah, sure. I can send one to you. Cool. Yeah, no problem. Cool. I got you on a group. Oh wait. Which group? Oh, okay, cool. You got it. Cool.
Testing, testing.
don't see it, no. But your shoes, these boots. Okay, cool.
Are you guys doing commentary as well?
Well, we're gonna wait for commentary, so who's commentary? I have no clue. We're gonna have a bunch of people.
I mean, for this one.
I don't know. I don't think we're gonna have. We're usually gonna have a.
Who's your comm mic?
What do you mean?
Your comm mic's going. Is that what mic's going?
Yeah. So just detecting the sounds we're going.
Oh, really?
So we have people what they fall through.
Sure.
Because people are playing and all that stuff. So you guys managed to what? To
Yeah. Do you want me to find you a commentator?
What's that?
Do you want me to find you a commentator for this game?
Yeah. If you can, yeah.
I can run commentary for you.
So
I can run commentary for you.
take a look.
Good to go.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. We're a few points into the Nomad Ultitude game. Ultitude currently with a disc, trying to get out of their end zone. Big Huck coming up here. David to contest from Nomad. Oh, a close catch, no call. Great spirit from both teams. Jason guard picking up the disc. Centering back. Oh, accidentally thrown into the hands of an Ultitude member there. Nomad now having to defend on their end zone. Looks like an end zone play from a vert stack. Oh! A very fast push pass goes awry. Disc back in Nomad's hands. Jason Guard picking up again. Ceci is help handler there. Nomad running a vert stack, cutting from the front. DC helping out Lycia. A big fake back through to Darren. Ooh, Jason Guard is moving fast. Ultitude playing man here. Great to see. With very little wind, it's hard to play zone against a team like Nomad. Tom with a backhand up the line to Ceci. Ceci stuck on the sideline, gets it back to DC. Ooh. Looks like Bree there on the end zone line. A dump to Ceci, a swing around back to DC. Nomad playing very well from a vert. And that looks like Tom to Lycia for the score. A very strong Ultitude line lining up now. Looks like Mel and Sia, both previous Wild Dogs players, along with Tsepo, the current Wild Dog coach. So a lot of experience on the line. Let's see how this O-line performs. The Nomad line currently resembling an old UCT line with a lot of previous UCT players and a couple of Wild Dogs themselves. Christine Court and James, I believe, is also a Wild Dog. Yeah, Scott DePool, men's line. Really big pull there from Scott. Landing just in bounds, going to take it on the front cone. Quick center there. Sia drops it off to a very tall handler. Ooh, Tsepo playing quickly, going up the line. Just out of his reach, the next pass. Nomad back with the disc. Looks like Vian will be picking up. A quick centering pass to James. And again around to Jason. Fakes the big. Throws the up line. James throws to Scott, who has to run it down. A speedy man, that guy. I'm getting told it is 3-0 to Nomad. Ultitude, a team that wasn't around last year, they've reformed again. So players from all over. It's good to see another Ultimate Mixed team back from the brink. All right, we have a ladies line. Looks like Licia will be pulling to the Ultitude squad. All right, it's good making it past the halfway line, just before the brick mark. Picked up by Ultitude. It's a centering pass to Sia. He's looking for something off the front, and he gets it. Disc is popped back to him. He fakes the big and then goes for it. Nell collecting. 7 meters out from the end zone. Nell's looking for help, and he gets it. Disc back in the middle now. Can Ultitude score? They need to form to their formations. Pop pass straight up. Oh, and a beautiful throw. Ultitude score 3-1. Ultitude will be very glad to be on the board. It's a beautiful day here in Cape Town. Lovely sunny weather. No wind at the moment. And you look at that view. We're in Newlands at the moment, looking at the back of the side of Devil's Peak and Table Mountain. It's a great day for Ultimate. A cracking day for Frizzer, some would say. All right, looks like our second lady line now. Ultitude to pull to Nomad. Not sure if you can hear, but Ultitude are starting some cheers. They've got their first point and they want people to know it. There you go, a rolling pull. And it's got some good distance. Getting stopped by Scott. And going to be picked up by James. Fiat with the disc. Tracy unmarked. Off the stack. Doesn't get the disc. Comes to Ceci. They're looking for something. Sia putting a great mark on James there. Marking him out of the point. Oh, and a throwaway, but James collects. There's a call on the field. Looks like a stall out. Ceci not contesting that stall out. I believe. Oh, no, the disc stays. Sorry. All right. James, after being marked out really well by Sia, has gotten the disc, and he throws it. Unfortunately, just misses Scott, and it's into the stack. Knocked down by one of the Ultitude ladies. Sia coming to pick up. He's telling everyone he wants something deep. He wants options. Not gotten them. He's reset the disc. Oh, a push pass in their own end zone. A dangerous play. Sia wants something. James now putting on a great mark. Nell with the disc. Looking back for Sia. The disc up. Oh, Christine with the help defense. Not worked out. Altitude looking for a reset. They've gotten it. Sia back with the disc. He's giving instructions, and they're working out. Nell with the disc free. Altitude making a lot of little passes, but getting ground. But a big throw from Sia. Oh, and Nell with an amazing catch. Just outside of the end zone. Conservation of greatness. Nell's looking for something. And a dishy to Sia as a score. Well played, Nomad. Oh, sorry, not Nomad. Well played by Ultitude. They go up 2-3, and nice to see a hold from them. Let's see if Ultitude can keep this ball rolling. 2 holds. We'd love to see it. Oh, yeah. Sorry, I believe that was a break. My apologies. First break against Nomad. Let's see if they can get their heads up and get this hold. Other games happening at the moment. We have Tailwhip playing the Sun Gazers and Donkeys playing Marty's 1. Alright, there's the pull from Ultimate. Being chased down very quickly. Jason Guard to receive it in the corner. Oh, Ultitude throwing the zone out here. They get the disc out at a high stall count. Vian with a big put. Looking for Scott. He has competition, but he's done well to box out there. Scott now looking for Sarah, but instead dishes to David, who's thrown it to... Oh, no. Just bouncing out of the hand there. Nomad will be a little bit disappointed, but now they have to turn on to defense. Let's see how they do. Looking upfield for a deep option. Doesn't have it yet. Does well to reset. Ooh, takes the disc going down. They've got it up. Sia puts up a big huck. Just too far. Nomad are going to pick up. Ultitude have set up their zone again. Jason playing quickly to get it out of there. In this low wind, it's very hard to play zone defense. And Nomad are doing very well to get the disc out. Let's see if they can retain possession. Vian with the big fake. Centering back to Jason. They're going to look to gain ground little by little. Vian, another big fake. Centers back to Jason. Across to Lycia. Coming back to Jason. They get the disc through to David. Jason with a beautiful run through throw. Dishes to Scott. Now on the sideline end zone. They center it well. They go right across the field. And a high release gets the disc to Lycia for the Nomad hold. Ultitude had a chance there, and they got close. But Nomad did well to shut it out. The score now 4-2. Nomad up by 2. All right, Tom pulling for another men's line point. A big pull gets fielded by Sia in his own end zone. Moving up quickly, trying to start some momentum. Nomad electing to play man versus this team. This comes back to Sia. Wild Dog versus Wild Dog. Sia versus James. Sia's looking deep. Now wants the reset. And he gets it. They're moving up slowly here. 47 from Ultitude, looking for help. Gets it in the form of Sia. Oh, Sia with a great fake and a big put. Nell is under it, but he has competition from Scott, who also gets a hand. Looks like there may be a call, whether it's a foul or in and out. It looks like it's in or out. Scott signaling it's in, and a score. Great spirit. What a pull down from Nell. There are not many people that can get the disc away from Scott when he's under it, and he's done well there. Score now 3-4. Nomad only up by 1 after going on a run of 3 to start the game. Ultitude have seemed to stem the flow and are going point for point with Nomad. All right, we have a ladies' point. Ultitude pulling a great pull straight down, fielded by Jason. He centers to Vian. Nomad out with a vert stack. Lots of people cutting all at once. All right. Ultitude with their zone, but Nomad are getting through the middle of it. Vian centers to his wife, Ceci. Sorry, not wife yet. They'll be married later this year. Another Frisbee couple. Jason now with the disc. Pops straight through the middle to Vian. Vian centers back to Ceci. Another pop to Jason. Nomad running this disc through. Ultitude are going to want to tighten up. And there's a swing. Vian at the disc. Releases back to Jason right across the field with a beautiful high release. Again, now on the right-hand sideline. Vian at the disc. He fakes and high releases over. Oh! But a miscommunication leads to a turn. Looks like Merrick picking up the disc. Throws it across to your regular commentator. They've run 1-2, 1-2. And a big throw. Will she have it? Oh. Just misread and it goes over both defender and attacker. From personal experience, I can tell you it's hard to be running in the zone and then go straight to cutting. It's a lot of running for one person. And Nomad at the disc have gone up the line. Looking for the centering pass. Jason gets it to Ceci going up the line. He's looking for a deep option, but no continuation just of yet. A hammer across. Nomad have done well to go over the top and across, as Ultitude have stopped them going through the middle. A good adjustment by them, but Nomad seem to have the answer. Right. Nomad now at the opposing brick mark, making a lot of quick, fast passes. Very hard to catch up as a cup. Merrick does well to support his team. A good adjustment here by Nomad. Almost no Nomad players in the middle of the field in the cutting space. They're pulling the hammer stops to the corners. And Jason, now they need something in the middle. Ceci to Vian. Nomad are going to center and throw this disc all day long. They will swing, swing, swing until the cows come home if they can score the point. Another swing by Jason. Nomad need to get a cutter free here. Ultitude doing very well to play end zone defense in a zone. but Nomad have done well to break through. Jason decided to take things into his own hand, has run through, got the return pass and given it to a well-timed cut by Lucia. That'll put Nomad up 5-3. All three games have just scored points. We see a point from Sungazers, a point from Donkeys, and a point from Nomad all at the same time. And high fives being shared across the field from both teams on every single game. Good to see great spirits coming out at the 2024 Nationals here in Cape Town. Back to our scheduled game, we have our second ladies line. A very fast team on the field there by Nomad. It's, I take from personal experience, it's hard to mark up against DC, Phil, or Scott as a male matching player. Apologies, that's Tom. Tom with a couple great layouts. You can see some dirt on your shirt already at this tournament. Ultitude signal there ready. And a great big pull from Christine, which lands just shy of the opposing brick mark. Ultitude pick up. Playing a hoe. Scott gives the under, but only for a short distance. Oh, and a throwaway. Just hitting the ground there. Nomad go into a vert stack. Christine to pick up the disc. Centers to Lucia, cut off the front. Darren and Scott playing with the disc. Tom getting it off the middle of the stack, bouncing it back to Christine. A through pass to Lucia, ends in a score. Very efficient offense there by Nomad for the break. Going up 6-3. All right, we have our first men's line again. Here comes the pull from Tom. Great pull, hanging for quite a while. And Ultitude have the disc, playing quickly. They've done well so far. They've gotten it back to the half already. Sia with every second pass. A pick is called. It doesn't look like it affected the last throw. People are just going to catch up. With a chaotic, quick offense, it's very easy for picks to happen. But we haven't seen many of them this game yet. Small violation. People aren't in the correct spot that they were to start. Alright, disc coming in. Sia looking for a disc. Gives the high release. Ooh. Into traffic, but it's received. Ultitude have the disc. Back to Sia. He's gotten every second passes point. Nell looking up now. Wants to center it. He's done so. Ooh, a big put up by Sia. Ooh, and Null does well to pull that one down. Sia telling the team he'll put them on his back and carry them to victory. And Ultitude have done well to get this point. A great hold. Your usual commentator coming onto the field there, number 3, Tsepo. Largely responsible for restarting Ultitude. And he wants some game time. Only 2 points in this game. Ultitude have more than enough time to make those up and take a victory here. They'll need to rattle Nomad to get that done, but very possible. Our second men's line, Tepo to pull. Will Ultitude bring out another zone? Let's see. Great pull, amazing hang time. Going to be fielded in the end zone by Vian. Center it to Christine. Looks like a zone. Yes, Ultitude pull out a zone. Tepo has pulled deep duty. Let's see how he does if they put up a big throw. Nomad trying to tire out this cup. Swinging all day. Christine playing this middle handler there. James moving up the field, trying to gain some grounds with those swings. He puts it across to Vian, who goes through the middle. All right, Nomad trying to get as many swings in as possible. Ultitude trying to contain these handlers. Vian with his signature fake and high release. Nomad moving quickly, just on the end zone. And Scott puts a disc through to Licia, getting that point. And there are the celebrations. That is 7-4 to Nomad. One more for them to take half. Looks like we've got in for the Tail Whip Sungazers game is currently 3-all. Great to see evenly matched teams playing out against each other here. Teams will want to do well to get good seeding for the quarterfinals. All right, we are back to a ladies' point. Nomad to pull here. They'll want to take this point. Hopefully they can get a break. It'll be good for morale to be up by 4 points in the second half. Alternatively, Ultitude want to close that gap as much as they can. A good hold here will do them well. Tracy pulling. It looks like it's gone out on the sideline. I don't believe Ultitude are electing to brick it, and they have now decided to brick it. Nomad electing still to play man. Ultitude walking up the disc to the brick mark. They'll want to take this point to make it a much closer game before the half. And the disc is in. Playing a host stack, they get the under, putting them in the middle of the field. Couple fakes to a reset. Nell now with the disc. He's looking upfield. He gets another under. He's looking for the pass back again, and he gets it. On the sideline now. Ooh. A well done hand block by Tom. Means that Nomad now have possession again. Alright, Ultitude back to the disc. We have a reset out, and the disc back to the handler in the middle. Ultitude glad to have the disc back in hand. Now looking upfield. Nomad playing some great man defense. Ooh, sliding to his knees to take the disc, and he gets it up the line. A lot of small passes, almost a dominator set here by Ultitude. Ooh, a great high release up the line, and Nell receiving the disc again. Ooh, another great disc up the line. Ultitude now on the doorstep. They're looking for something. Tom putting on a hard mark. Nell now needing the reset, and he gets it across to the middle of the field. Right. Ultitude looking for options. Nomad not giving to them easily. Big disc across. Leads to a score. Ultitude very happy to have that point in hand. A great hold. 5-7 to Ultitude. Nomad up 7. We see some cheer from Ultitude. They're very happy to have that point. Nell did very well that point to play a good handler set. He played mainly as a cutter in the Wild Dogs team, and a relatively new player to Ultimate. I'm joined now by Dylan Sims, the previous coach for the Wild Dogs. How do you think Nell has done to progress in the last few years?
I mean, in this team, it definitely feels like he's taken on the hander role more than the cutter role. He's been working on his throws a lot, so he's gone from a person who mostly resets to a person that a dangerous person downfield that could definitely put it deep or further deep.
You'll be happy to know this information, Dylan, but Nell got a great sky against Scott in the air. We have the footage. You can replay it for Scott multiple times. Dylan and Scott, good friends. Yeah, Ultitude, a relatively new team. They've done well to put people in positions they're not entirely comfortable with and play well.
Funny enough, Josh, Ultitude's actually been around for years.
Yes, they reformed.
They just reformed this year. And they've picked up Thule, a great player that used to play for UCT but moved up country.
Dylan knowing all of the gossip about local and international Ultimate teams. But yeah, Ultitude have been around for a while. It's good to see them reform. I think that was largely due to Tsepo trying to get more Ultimate teams and a nice competitive scene going up there in Joburg. Alright, we have another ladies line. A pull just short of the brick mark. Vian picking up to Christine Court. Dylan, an odd choice to play zone with no wind. Your thoughts by Ultitude?
It seems in South Africa we like to play zone a lot. More passes means more opportunity to turn the disc. And if you can contain a team that's speedy and likes to put it deep by putting on a zone, you know, it is quite effective. It is more difficult when you have a team that is a throws like Nomad does. So it seems like they're playing a bit of a flat zone with Sia being their main threat. If you can get around him, there's a big chance you're going to be able to move it up the field. But they've committed a lot of players to the disc here. So if they can dump swing, there's a big chance they can be able to score quickly.
Oh, a beautiful layout there by Tsepo to get the disc back. Tsepo, realizing that Nomad are just trying to gain ground by swinging the disc, has eyed a pass coming and made the layout for the D. Ultitude now with the disc. Trapped on the sideline. They get the reset. Sia, also generally a cutter, is now in the handler role. He's done very well this game.
Yeah, it seems like Ultitude has brought back a lot of their really big deep threats into their handler space. It does restrict their game a little bit, but at the same time, you put Devon in the end zone, like there's always a threat there, and there it comes off with Scott not really paying attention. Great throw by Sia, great work by those two to get the score.
It's a break.
A great break by Ultitude. Only 1 point in this now. Nomad really want to take this half. The score now 6-7. Nomad up by 1.
That's a good timeout call there by Ultitude. You know, they really need this point to make it a decisive... Sorry, just fixing the mic there. Making it a decisive score. They want it to be 7-all. If anything, going into the half, you want it to be 8-7, not 8-6. That's a big difference right there. Who started on O here, Josh? I missed the beginning of this game.
I also missed the beginning, so I guess we'll see at the beginning of the second half.
But yeah, I mean, from what I could tell, the score was 3-1 at one stage to 3-0 at one stage to Nomad, and for Ultitude to pull that back, really showing their prowess on the field right now. Lots of throws and putting their bodies on the line to make sure that they can get the disc.
Yeah, Nomad have done well to start this game off, but I think Ultitude stopped their flow, and Nomad definitely a momentum-based team. If they can get a couple breaks on you, they might just run to an 8-0 game, but Ultitude did well to turn it on. They were playing man in the beginning of this game, and their zone, as much as Nomad have been getting through it, has actually paid off for them.
This weather definitely suits the Joburg team. I mean, at the same time, it's not windy, but Joburg does not have any wind. So in a situation where there isn't wind and they're able to put it deep, is one that plays to what they're used to. Nomad is used to no wind as well, but I bet they wish there was just a slight crosswind coming in right now.
Yes, I've noticed this weekend of the tournament, a lot of the northern teams have thrown a lot of blades, not used to any Cape Town wind. If there was some, we'd see those blades going awry, but so far they've hit their marks, and it's helpful when your mark is a massive man like Nell. So, well done there by Ultitude. Nomad of the big cheer after that. Timeouts. They're going to want to get their spirits up, get this point, and go into the half with a 2-point lead. All right. A men's line here. Sia looking to pull.
What's interesting about this Ultitude team is they have 25 people with this tournament, I believe, which is a pretty massive line to rotate through. In theory, their legs should not be as tired as I think the 16 or 17 person team that Nomad has. Once again, we see a zone come down with Jason and James at the back. That zone is doing well to make them throw backwards. I think currently Nomad is playing very small ball. They should be looking to be a bit more expansive. Swing the disc a bit further. Maybe Tsepo's layout made them a bit scared. There goes a great blade to Tom. Tom brings it in. Tom throws to James. Amazing grab. Tom and James just working it up. That zone seems to have fallen apart with really good flow from Nomad. It seems like it's a foul called. What do you think about... Ooh, retracted. Very interesting play there. Great work by Juan to stop that flow.
Ooh, a big put up. Tom getting the disc back for his team. Ceci picking up quickly. They're trying to play before the zone can set up. Jason with a big backhand. Looking for Bree. Bree is just short of the disc, but a good option there. Sia running it down. He looks tired. He wants his handlers back, and he's picked up the disc. He's picked up the disc, walking down to the front of the end zone. Looking to play from here. Backhand up the line to the open side. Nomad forcing them away now. James on the mark. Oh! Looks like we have some content there. Contact. Sia running into Jason. Always hate to see someone go down on the ultimate field, whether it be by accident or an injury of any kind. If you follow Sia on Instagram, you know he's in the gym a lot, so he's a strong man. He'll probably be playing the rest of this tournament no problem. Just needs a moment to recover, I believe. A quick discussion there by Sia and Jason to see if anyone was in the wrong. So far this game been very well spirited. A lot of foul calls and pick calls retracted. A quick discussion and people seem to get to the point. And it's been, from our point of view, smiles and high fives all around. Dylan, have you had the opportunity to play against this Ultitude team yet?
Yeah, we played this Ultitude team yesterday as Chile Heat. They're really such a deep team. In the first 4 points, they really set their tone with that, and we had to do a lot of adjustments to make sure that they couldn't just take those options off the bat. Once we were able to shut those down and make it more difficult for them to get it, the game started to go a bit more our way, making them play a bit more small ball. I think that was the right call there to retract that. I think Jason was standing still. Let's see if this zone can do its work again. Although it looks like they're down person, maybe the right choice in that situation. Juan, that's not Juan. I don't actually know who that is, but he did a great job there marking James. The swing goes back to Jason. James is going up the line. Unfortunately thrown a bit too high for James. The disc goes back to Sia. Sia with his classic give goes. He wants to put it deep. No one's there. Goes to Nell under. Nell is a great deep threat because if you don't respect him, then he'll get it deep. And if you do respect him, he's going to get it under. And he's been taking advantage of that this weekend. Nice grab there by Sia. Sia's still just looking deep, but with where their stack is, there's just no opportunity to throw it to them. Yet, there they go, do it. Oh my word, massive grab by Nell. And he throws the over the top for the score. Amazing work. Tom really not happy about that one. Nell with a great second attempt.
I think Nomad in general not happy about that one. They're now going to go into this half 7-8, for which team is still to be decided. Nomad probably quite sad to lose their great lead. Ultitude really happy to get it back to an even playing field. Sia pulling a great double duty that game, that point. a really strong defense position. Ultitude look like they're beginning to call the timeout now. And a great time to highlight Nell again. He's played also he's been in the handler space, but he's pulling up every big disc. He just seems like he wants it more than the Nomad deep defenders at the moment, and he's done well to get every disc that comes his way.
Yeah, it feels like this is a situation where if you can stop those two players, maybe Nomad has a bit more of a chance in this game. But they're really struggling to stop the give-go movement from Sia. Like we've said, he's been in the gym. He's really quick right now. And if you don't respect him in the unders, he's just going to take you deep and get you there too. So between the two of them, there's a lot of different places they can hit them on the field. And it seems like Nomad just doesn't have an answer for that.
Sia recently returning from Portugal Beach Club Worlds, where he played with the Foam Rollers, with his teammate on the opposition today, Jason, on Nomad. So some Beach World teammate rivalry across this game. I spoke to Sia yesterday and he said Portugal was a beautiful time and a beautiful place to play some Beach Worlds. And I'm sure he was happy to be down in Cape Town to enjoy our beaches as well, being from Joburg. A big pull from Tepo, your usual commentator. Hopefully you can get another layout D and get the turn. Nomad now would really want to hold. Christine, Licia and Vian in the handler space. Ultitude with their zone on. Christine going through the zone. And Vian to Scott on the sideline. Nomad now with almost 4 handlers back. Scott just looking to get the grounds up the line. Christine to Darren. And the swing across to Vian. Licia doing a good job to bounce the disc in the middle. Christine fakes the scuba and goes up the line to Darren. Ultitude now trying to contain this Nomad team. Nomad are going to want to stay patient, but they've thrown a blade up, and Tepo gets the D with a good box out on Darren. Nomad, we're doing well to stay patient and get meters, but a wry blade has given the disc over to Ultitude.
What Ultitude did really well there was just stop the disc to the upfield players. They let the swingers go off, but they made the upfield very difficult. Eventually Vian got a bit lax and threw a bit of an awkward blade to catch. Oh, Darren with a great D and hard mark. But those little pops become difficult when it's so close, and if a team is ready and awake, they can get them. So good work from Darren Curry there. Scott with the disc, looking upfield, resets to Chris. Seems they've got a person again. This is where they want to take advantage of that. Goes to Vian. Scott shouts so loud, but doesn't get the disc. Scott comes back under, gets it from Licia. Where's he going to look? Oh, he puts a little risky throw to Licia. Licia goes up, gets bumped, but also drops the disc. That's unfortunate right there. Good option, just slightly poor execution.
And we see high fives and smiles. That wasn't a foul, and Licia hasn't called it. She's done well there. A lot of teams, when it's a tight game, might be a bit more lenient on their calls. Call minor contact, major contact, but this game seems friendly, and it's good to see that from Nomad. Always a well-spirited game whenever I've played them. Tepo making the fake and getting through the middle. An unmarked player. Vian looks like he was helping out the deep option. Nomad now catching up to their defenders. Tepo wants a deep option. He hasn't gotten it, but he's gotten the under. Scott with the post-off block. Some clipped ankles. No calls. Nomad are going to want to play patient now. They're going to want to try and get this, but they have gone into a vert because the Ultitude have dropped their zone. Let's see how they will. They've played well off the vert so far. They're doing well to swing and get to the break side. Darren now with the disc. Being forced away. The disc comes to the break side. Vian with the high release. Darren just sneaks it out. They swing around. Back to the break side. And the disc is just out of Christine's reach. A lot of turns in this last point. Neither team will be happy with that. Merrick picking up the disc. He's walked it to the end zone line now. He wants the under. He puts it up. Not a great throw, but it's recovered. Oh, not sure if Lycia got a hand to that, but Ultitude again. A small pass has not gone in their favor, and the disc is back in Nomad's hand.
Yeah, it's a bit unfortunate. Some people making some great deep cuts, and the disc is just not coming up. You can see that thing that we spoke about earlier with Nell and Sia not on the field. They're struggling to get that flow that they normally have. Oh, there's a little fall by Tepol. It seems like he's going to call the foul. Darren still collects because you should always do that. Uncontested, nice little blade along the floor to Vian. So just stays with Vian.
Those sort of fouls happen quite often. Just an accidental clip of the heels makes a player go down, and it's great to see people not contest those throws and calls. Scott looking for players upfield. He gets Darren. Ooh, Tsepo debating whether to lay out for that one. Elects not to. Christine right on the end zone. Gets it back in the middle. Darren with the blade across. Christine recovers it. And Nomad will take the half. They'll be happy to start the game in the lead. But Ultitude have done very well to come back in this game. Hopefully that puts some pep in the step of the Nomad players, and they can start the second half with some oomph. Ultitude equally should give themselves a round of applause to bringing this game back to being a tight game. Hopefully they can adjust in the second half and really keep that defense pressure and make more of those successful throws to get some points on the board. We'll pan over to one of the other games happening at the moment. Tail Whip versus the Sungazers. Tail Whip in their own end zone. Very worried about a Callahan. Paul with a deep throw. Looks like it's going to be collected. He fakes an upwind, upfield throw to nobody. And they've recovered the disc. Tail Whip going from their own end zone to the opposition's in a very short amount of time. Let's see if they can put this disc into that end zone for a score. Paul looking for someone up the line.
Taewup currently playing really well. Yesterday they played Marty's with a very unfortunate 9-8 loss. Very close game, very unfortunate turns in the last few points. Paul has recovered well from that, it seems, with a great pass to Ricky that led them to this end zone. It's difficult when you play a zone close to the end zone because there's so many people in such a small space. They really need to take those swing options to make that zone move, but it seems like they really like to take the little jam it in the jam hole options. There's another one to Ricky. Everyone very close. Paul comes from behind, has the disc, still looking upfield. No one really wants to swing, and finally takes the open swing, makes big ground. Moses on the disc, Moses off the disc. Back to Tharun, back to Paul. You can see who the main handlers on this team are. Swing down to Ricky. People really struggling to get that upfield motion, but they really just want to make that zone tired. Nice throw. And finally gets there. Great work for the score.
As Dylan said, that went right through the dam hole. And apparently now it was 7-5 to Tail Whip, and that'll be the half, I believe, now 8-5 to Tail Whip. Some news from the Donkeys Marties game. I believe Donkeys were up 7-3 to Marties, and it looks like it's currently half.
It's a timeout.
Oh, timeout. Apologies. They must have already had their half, unless this has been a very long point. We might have some incorrect information about the current scoreline from this game, but at least we know the scoreline for the stream game. Ultitude with a big cheer. They're looking to get their morale up and get their points up. They're only 1 down against Nomad at the moment. They've done very well to get back from a 3-0 down situation.
For anyone else that wants to know updates from other games, while Donkeys may be in the lead by a bit, Marties is really pushing their lines and really forcing the mistakes. It's unfortunate that we haven't seen much from that game, but their handlers are moving the disc well and they're taking the over the top options. It just seems like they can't stamp the ticket after all their solid movement that they do. Seems we got the camera angle there for now. Marties has the disc. You can barely tell the difference between Brayton and Luca. I believe Luca has the disc right now. Of course, the double team. Brayton now with the disc. Fakes it. Swings. They're just stuck in the end zone. Donkeys zone doing a great job to contain them. This is different to normal because normally Darren's right there in the front, but he's decided to be one of the back three. The over the top comes great throw to one of their ladies. Back to another. Oh, I can't tell if that's Brayton or Luca, but he puts it deep. Will Jonty lay out and score? Yes. That's a break there for Marties. I can tell because Darren's on the field.
Disc called not in there. Returning, I believe that's Jonty to collect the disc. Violation called. I believe players are going to run back to where the disc was called not in. Which is only fair. Dylan, my only way to tell the difference between Brayton and Luca is that one of them is left-handed, and I don't know how to mark him. Jonty gets the disc to Brayton. Brayton throws 3 left fakes. Now to Luca. Throws a right fake. And a blade over the top to Jonty. That one is definitely in.
Funny thing is the camera wasn't there at all, but but you guys got some great words from us. But yeah, that's a break from Marties. Great work to them. But back to this Ultitude Nomad game.
Looks like we're starting with a ladies line. Yeah. Nomad will receive the disc. And Ultitude are going to try and hope for an early break, putting the game on even grounds.
Josh, I don't believe this is even. It must be, Nomad must be up a break at this stage, because it's 8-7 to them and they're getting pulled to. So Nomad hoping for a 9-7 in the situation. Yeah. Alice with the disc. Alice passes too far to Vian. Vian goes. He gets that disc. Great grab. Vian recently started putting his body in the line more. Alice with an amazing cut up the line. Vian puts it there. Alice looks upfield. She doesn't take it. James goes up, doesn't get it. Goes back to Alice from Vian. A great core of handlers that they have there. Puts it to Emily. Once again, Nomad very hungry for this disc. Another amazing grab. She throws the around break. Alice with a one-handed catch. It seems that Ultitude does not know what to do about this right now. And there it is. Stamps the ticket on the break side. Great flow from Nomad.
I think Nomad are trying to send a message here. They are hungry to get this win and get their lead back. And they are up 9-7. As you say, Vian putting his body on the line to get the disc. Spoke to him yesterday. He said he had a very physical game against Rob Skelton and those two good friends. And it's great to see two players agree to a certain level of contact and stick with it. It really makes for very intense one-on-one marking and handling situations. We have our second lady line, Nomad to pull to Ultitude. Ultitude will want to hold this to keep it within one. Christine Court to pull.
Christine Anderson, I believe. What's interesting about this Altitude line is there's no one that can really match Devon Norman's height. I wonder if they're going to try to take advantage of that or they're going to make him handle. What do you think about that, Josh?
As a tall man myself, I know it's great to have that starting advantage, but it's a real ego killer to get skied or boxed out. Personally myself, I've been boxed out by Jason quite a few times, one of the smaller players on the Nomad team, and that can hurt the ego sometimes. Ooh, a big blade across. Unfortunately, man runs away from it. David to receive, back to Alice. They're running up the line now. David, usually a cutter, did well there in the handler space and returns back to the stack. DC off the front of the stack. Pops to Alice, who goes up the line. Oh, and fingertips knocks that disc out. Ultitude happy to have the disc back in hand. Ultitude, not too many handlers back, just the one. A high release. Gets the disc more in the middle. Calm on the disc gets us a centering pass to the left. Oh! A disc with too much zip on it goes awry of the cutter. Nomad back with the disc in hand. Christine Court to pick up. Nomad electing to go with their vert, which has done them very well. You'll see them try and swing and get to the break side as quick as possible with a cut off the front. Tom with the disc. Alice off the front of the disc. Didn't have to cut too far. Her handler maybe poaching. Alice back in the center. Nomad going to try to set to an end zone set now. And Darren jumps the disc in for a quick score. Nomad now up by 3, 10-7. And like I said earlier, Dylan, Nomad, a momentum-based team. They do well when they're in the lead and when they can get breaks. Do you think they'll keep up this momentum?
Yeah, as you said, Nomad really likes to go on that break train. They brought a little rake with, they call it their break Drake rake, since it has Drake's face on it. So they're really a team that builds in that momentum. With getting 2 points like that, I think they're just going to start steamrolling this game unless Altitude can really make a difference. It seems Altitude's lines are quite different from the first half. I haven't seen Sia, I haven't seen Nell. Maybe they're playing a different half game. Maybe Sia's a bit hurt after the collision with Jason. But yeah, they must be really hoping to pull this one back, and they definitely need this score to stop the bleed.
Tsepo also, I don't believe, has been on the field yet this half. Ultitude maybe trying to rest some of their players for the quarterfinals. A valid strategy. As I say, Nomad, a momentum-based team, but that can also work against them if they get 2 breaks against them. We saw Ultitude after a break against Nomad, managed to punch another one in. And sometimes, I mean, with all teams, you can get in your head a little bit. And let's just hope for Nomad's sake that they can keep going positive. A great pull from Scott, hanging in the air, giving Nomad time to catch up. James chasing that one down. No mark on the throw as of yet. Sessi takes that job.
Interesting matchup there with James on Devon Norman. I don't know how well that's going to go. Oh, massive throw downfield. Can DC get a finger to it? He does, but it still comes off. Great work from Ultitude. Like we said, they needed to stop the bleed, and they got that right. I expected a Devon Norman in the end zone with James on him, but no, he's the one that puts that assist up. Great work from Ultitude.
Something that I think every Ultimate coach out there is saying now, catch your Ds. Darren probably only got 2 fingertips to it, but if someone once told me if you can touch it, you can catch it. Ultitude doing very well there to get that score. And again, a blade from one of the Joburg teams coming off in this no-win situation. We see Tep on the line now. He's going to want to try and get another great layout D. Get their team the disc again and punch it in to make this a much closer game. Some news from the other game. UCT currently on match point against Legends, looking to take that win in the 2nd division. Sebo with a big pull. Looks to be fielded by Alice, I believe. A centering pass to Vian. Back to Alice. No mark on Alice as of yet. So she gets a few free passes, but accidentally puts that one just out of reach for David. Tsepo picks up the disc. A bit of traffic. He needs the reset now. And he gets it. Going back up the line from where he came. Does not get the disc back. Christine doing well to flash across. Merrick with a good under against Scott. A big throw upfield. Gets pulled down, and Ultitude will be very happy with that break. Nomad, they might be going on some momentum in the wrong direction, unfortunately.
Yeah, what's strange to see is that Nomad almost always has open options, and they're just overthrowing them at the moment. It's a very loose mark by Ultitude, really just forcing the throws, kind of containing more than they're putting aggressive marks on, and Nomad is just overthrowing people right now, which is leading to easy breaks. And well done from Ultitude, playing their hex, always looking upfield and always looking to hit the person cutting from the backspace, which means they're always in power position 1 to throw that huck like Teppel just did. And there's Teppel staying on for another point after his great performance.
Nomad still in the lead, but are going to want to stop the flow. That's a well-played point there by Ultitude, and they're going to want to try and continue that momentum. And we have another lady line. Yeah, a lot of unforced errors, unfortunately, there from Nomad. Putting the disc just out of reach with almost no mark, unfortunately.
One of the really difficult things in any sport, and Ultimate in particular, is when you come off a really, really hard match, and that next match is just always so difficult. If anyone watched the Nomad match last night, they would have seen against Chile Heat. That match was 10-all at one stage, and that pressure has seemed to be relieved a bit, but now they put the pressure on themselves on making unforced errors, and and not marking people as hard as they could. There's Jason with the disc up the line. Looking to reset. No one's there. Alice cuts up the line, still making his life difficult. Ceci goes around, finally gives him some relief. Doesn't look like there's a very... Ooh, foul called with a great movement from Jason trying to go back up the line. It just seems like Nomad's trying to jam at him that one corner right now where they could be a bit more expansive with their game, trying to swing. But at the same time, the break side is just always open. Alice takes it. The mark is there. It almost seems straight up. Foul called from Tom on Seppo, uncontested.
This end zone set from Nomad seems to do very well of the handlers going up the line, but always a front of stack cut to back into that handler space means that Nomad always has an option to get the disc back and to reset the stall count. Jason now with the swing in his hands from Tom. He's looking for a throw to the break side. Alice tries to run it in, but it just out of her reach. Ultitude back with the disc.
Once again, we just go back to these unforced errors that Nomad is making, giving Ultitude the opportunities to go score. Once again, we got Jason on a tall man. Seppo with the disc chooses to go for the reset. Tall man gets a disc. Oh, Jason, no, runs through. That's the thing about the tall guys. Not necessarily as fast as the little ones.
I would never discount Jason against any matchup. An experienced and well-practiced player. There's a reason he's made the Wild Dogs team. There's a reason he's made the Beach Worlds team. And there's a reason he's on Nomad. He's just that good. If you're in Cape Town, please feel free to come watch these games live. We are at Imhoff Sports Complex, courtesy of Westerford. There are vibes, food, coffee, drinks, all manner of things. Looks like a timeout may have been called here. Not sure by which team, but for either team, it's a good time to collect yourself, change the game plan, get things going. Nomad have now got that point back and are going to want to try and go on a tear, get some momentum, get 4 quick points and end this game quickly. Ultitude, they have a bit more of a struggle here. They need to get 6 points against a very strong opposition, but not undoable. They could definitely do this well. I see a whiteboard in the middle of the huddle from Ultitude, probably looking to change their game plan. Whether that's on offensive, defense, we'll see. Nomad are going to want to try and get some hype here with this chair. Let's see if we can hear them from here. Not sure if you heard them, but I definitely did. And Ultitude with the chair there, own off screen. Ultitude to receive the disc. And we see Sia back on the field. Good to see him back. Glad he's not injured more than we may have thought earlier. Seppo will be looking for him when he's in the handler space. We may see the two of them try and run a dominator set, popping the disc between each other. They're just going to have to watch out for any wry Nomad hands getting in the middle of it, getting those easy turns. Nomad doing well to force errors in this game so far. And here we have the pull from Christine. Maybe just out. Lands in bounds. Apologies for that. It has landed out. It is being bricked by Ultitude. The disc is in. Sia getting a quick, easy under. Nomad seeming to give them the under at the moment. Very scared of their deep threat. They're on the sideline. Ooh. Sia raining that one down. David forcing him away. Not giving him the break. The disc goes over and could not be recovered, hitting the fingertips there. That disc flying just a little high. Nomad now setting a vert in the red zone. DC picking up. They are cutting off the front and the back simultaneously. Let's see if they can get a point here. They have got the swing to David on the sideline. And they're being forced back in the right direction. Back to the open side. I believe there's a pick call. Scott animated and friendly as per usual in an ultimate game. One of his favorite places to be, I believe, is on the ulti field. And it shows. There's always a smile on that man's face. Alright, looking to get to the break side. A high release to Christine does so. Sia stopping any continuation. Nomad looking for the open side. They've thrown it to Bree, who is just out of bounds, unfortunately. And the disc will turn back into Ultimate's hand. Altitude's hand, apologies.
9-6 to tailwhip, 13-7 to donkeys.
Some news from the other games. 9-6 to tailwhip and 13-7 to donkeys against Marties. A big put here by Ultitude. Goes just over Sia's head. And Nomad will be back on offense. Can they punch this ticket in? A few too many turns that Nomad would have liked. But hoping to get this break. Sarah now with the disc. Looking upfield. Decides to center it. Christine goes to the break side. And a D away from Scott. And Ultitude will have the disc on the sideline, really close to the end zone. They're going to want to swing it quickly to get it off the sideline. Do they have an option? Going up field and in. Oh no, apologies. Just short of the end zone. On the sideline. Ultitude with the disc. Still count rising. They reset. No one really cutting up the stack. Now everyone on all at once. They've done well to center it. Tepal throws the blade out. Oh, and a layout just not collected. Believe there may be a call. Maybe some ankles got hit and that's why she went down. Let's see if there is a resolution here. James offering perspective there. See if anyone takes him up on it.
Yeah, to me, Josh, that looked like a turn. It doesn't feel like that affected play, and you know that's the rule that supersedes all rules. Did it affect play? No, I don't believe 2D was affected. But, yeah, well, never mind. Seems so. Disc is staying with 2D. Maybe, perhaps she was fouled on the layout attempt. We can't really tell from here, but 2D has the disc. What can Devin Norman do as the reset? Sia just pushes his way past. Push pass for the score. Sia and my word, Sia and David friends after their beach worlds together, so it seems like they're not too upset about that score.
It's hard sometimes to play against teammates because you want to be angry at them for doing well, but you also want to congratulate them for being good players. A lot of the Nomad men are on the Mutiny team that myself and Dylan are on, and it's always fun when Heat play Nomad and the men are matching up against their teammates. Sometimes you just let them run away from you because you don't realize that it's not a drill in practice, it's actually a competitive game. but on the other side, that does mean there's a lot of great spirit between those teams. People know each other, and they've been playing with and against each other for quite a while. Ultitude doing well to get that hold. The point within one now, 10-11 in Nomad's favor still. But as we said before, Nomad are a momentum-based team. If they go 2 breaks behind, it might be all over for them. But I would never count Nomad out in a game. They will go to the nails, to the nines, and take any team on, I believe. Looks like a men's line here, Ultitude pulling to Nomad. We have not seen Nell back on the field in the second half. After pulling a big duty in that first half, they may be resting him. Jumping that high that often, probably tire out the legs.
Seems like Sia's made a bit of a comeback though. Glad to see that he's not injured with the disc to pull it. Sia has had massive pulls this tournament. This one just hits the end zone. Vian with the pickup to Jason. All the way to Sessi. Back to Jason. Good movement. Seems like Tracy's open. He takes that shot. Tracy with the disc. 2D marking her. A bit of a troubled situation there. Foul called, uncontested. Josh has just run off, so he just got me for now. Vian's got the disc to Tom. Tom very open there, being marked by Sia once again. Ultitude seems to be containing. DC gets the disc. Jason makes the undercut. Jason gets the disc. Jason wants to throw back to DC, but he doesn't. Goes to Alice. Alice with the throw downfield. Tom with a nice bring down for the score. Great flow. Really shows you what Nomad can do. It looks like the Donkeys Marty's game has just ended. I believe it must be somewhere around 15-8 to Donkeys. Well played by Marty's to not drop their heads after the probably 8-3 halftime and clawing their way back to trading for the rest of that game. Now back to the Nomad Ultitude game. Looks like Scott's got the disc. Really the pressure on Ultitude here. They can't let Nomad get on a break. Get on a run so that they can get a few points in a row. Scott with a massive pull. That looks like it's going to go to the back corner of the end zone. And it does. Devon collects. Devon resets. Scott gets beat up the line by Devon. Devon throws a flick from there. It's huge. Well read by David. David has the disc. A bit of a bump there, but it's fine. Scott now gets the disc under. James is going up the line. James gets the disc from Scott. Can they punch this ticket with the inside throw? Great work. David with the tumble as well for the score. Very unfortunate there by Ultitude. Had some good looks, but just couldn't get that throw over David there. And that's a break from Nomad, putting them 2 up in this game. Looks like we've had a very unfortunate injury in the tail of Sungazer's game. Tanea's gone down, been carried off the field. Looks like an ankle. Josh has gone to go check on her. The medics are with her. Hopefully she'll be fine. But now Alice with the disc. Looking at the opposite side of Ultitude. Once again got their torment on. Their fast ladies. Tuli's there ready. Alice with a great pull downfield. Devon to collect. Tracy with the D there. Jason wants to pick up straight away. Tom's open. He doesn't throw it. Greg's a massive man. That disc goes to Alice and now to Tom. Oh, Sia with an amazing read, gets that intercept. Tailwolf's really going to want to stamp the ticket. They put it deep. It's on the wrong side of him, but goes to pull it in, and it's in. Oh, no, Jason's calling it out. Currently checking if it's in. Multiple sideline players calling it in. It's a score. Yeah, I mean, I think we have the better schedule because today the teams have to go this game 2.5 hour break, quarterfinal 2.5 hour break, semi-final. It's just a lot of like destroying the ultimate. There we have the pull. James decides to not pick it up and runs across it. Teffel's down there quick. Teffel's on Vian. Disc goes to James. Like I've said, it looks more like a straight up force than a directional, which means cuts can go anywhere. And as long as they don't make a silly overthrow or that, they should generally keep the disc on. There's Sia with a massive block. Sia's feeling really pumped up. Can he take this team further? Sia goes, he's running, keeps it in. Nell's going up the line. Nell and, DC and James swap there to cover Nell. This gets reset to Sia. Will he jam it in? No. Oh, great read from Chris there. Does the same what Sia did to her last time. Bian looking for the reset. Seppel's strong on him. Alice just gets the easy up the line. Sorry, easy downfield pass. Tracy gets the next pass, but unfortunately drops it. Gives another opportunity to Ultitude to put in this break. Sia goes up the line. Sia lays out, gets the disc. He's going to want to look crossfield. Checking if he's in. He's calling it a turn. Bit of an unfortunate set of play there. Ultitude really would have wanted that break, but they still got the opportunity. Can they put the force on? Chris fakes deep. Vian struggling to get the disc. James gets it to Vian across the field. DC's open, doesn't throw it. Disc goes to Alice. Alice gets it under. Emily's open. Can she keep it in? Looks like it. That's a hold from... Oh. Seems like some outs and some not outs being called. Very difficult. We can't give any perspective from down here. That is unfortunate. A turnover is called. Very fair-mindedness by Nomad to accept that one. The throw goes up. Fiona has a chance. Good boxing out by Tseppel there. Once again puts it up to Sia. Sia's looking downfield. Nell gets the disc. Good to have him back on the field. What can that connection do? Goes back to Sia. Nice cut there by Taryn. Taryn puts the disc to Sia. Sia goes deep on the break side. Can Nell keep that in? Oh, he was looking at the line. A bit of an unfortunate drop. That's really one that they would have wanted. Oh, Sia gets it again. Sia's having a fire game on defense today. Tseppel wants it. Tseppel gets that reset. Swings across. Looks like it wants to go back to Tseppel, but it doesn't. It does now. The surprise pass comes off. Tseppel's calling a pick. Someone's calling a pick. I believe that's Vian.
Can't call a pick on offense, Dylan. You should know that. This is looking to be quite a long point. I was down there on the field now. I saw a great D from Christine in traffic. That one pulled down nicely. Ooh, everyone wants the disc on altitude. Let's see, is the one who gets it. With the blade across the field. No, with a great take. Darren will be apologizing for running into him. He definitely had the space. Might have been caught disc watching. Nell, the big man, doing very well to take that disc down. As I said earlier, Nell, a great man in the air. Hate to go against him. Apologies there, I was taking score and was briefly interrupted. Unfortunately, we had an injury on in the Sungazers tail whip game. So score may be inaccurate, hopefully it's not. What we do know is that Ultitude will be pulling this disc to Nomad. Good to see Nell back on the field. Clearly a difference maker. He pulling down another score for his team.
Ultitude just has this ability to put a massive men line on the field. They have potentially 3-4 men that are taller than everyone else on the Nomad team, with Devin with a flippin' massive pull. It goes up, sits to the corner. Alice has to make the choice. She makes the choice. She catches. She swings to Chris. Goes back to Alice. The Ultitude ladies really struggling against the Nomad ladies. There goes to Alice. Tuli tries to come help cover. Tuli recovers now back on Ceci. That swing comes off. Ceci gets it. Ceci's looking back to Alice. Throw doesn't come off, but it goes to Chris. It's high and it's completed. Tuli's poaching in the middle, but it does not seem like there's a force when Chris, Alice and Ceci have the disc. Disc goes back to Ceci. The downfield men are just giving the ladies all the time in the world, all the space in the world, just to move it between those three, and this is working. Vian now goes across but doesn't go to him. Alice back up the line, Ceci back to the middle. It just seems like we're rinsing and repeating. Ultitude doesn't really know what to do in the situation.
Tuli doing well there to poach the lanes and try and stop these easy cuts off the front of the stack, but that gives them the swing. Alice now up the line, back to Christine in the middle. Both men cutting from the middle, not getting the disc. It might be that the Ultitude men are just shutting down that stack and they are having to play with their hand a lady set at the moment. A pick called. Throw from Scott to Ceci. Looks like this may stay. Disc is in. Ceci gets the disc to Christine. Christine ahead to Tom, who I believe tried to jump it in but had a foot out. A pick is called for a violation. Unsure what the call is. It may have been a travel and he's tried to tap the disc in. Tom needs a reset now. Gets Alice. Alice looking up the line. Vian shut down. Tom has gotten the disc now from the swing. Christine looking for someone to throw to. Ultitude really tightening up now when they're in the end zone. Oh, and a layout attempt does not get through, and Vian pops the disc through to Alice. That is a score. There appears to be an out call. Alice, most likely with best perspective, is calling it in.
Just looking at my watch quickly, if they started on time, it looks like that is the time for the game. I don't know if we're close enough to go to a universe point, but there was some great class by the Nomad ladies, just swinging it around, taking the up the lines, hitting the brake side for the up the lines, really just working that disc well. Eventually the Nomad men get involved, but great composure and great work swinging that disc. Looks like there is some confusion downfield. We don't quite know if this is game or not. No, looks like that's true. Looks like it is game.
I believe that's a conclusion to our first game. Really well done to Ultitude for a team that's only just restarted this year. They've done very well to play against Nomad, who's a team that's been around for a while and has a lot of synergy. To put a team together, to put a lot of points up against Nomad is quite a feat. And Nomad will be very wary of this Ultitude team if they play them again in this tournament. I'd like to thank my co-commentator here, Dylan Sims. Always appreciate your knowledge of the local and international ultimate scene. A wealth of knowledge there. Good luck with your next game.
Yeah, thanks Josh. It was good to be here. Great commentating with you for the first time, and hope to see you here again soon.
Yeah, and hopefully you guys will join us for our next stream. It's always we've changed up the angle a bit today, and looks like we have a lot of height, so we can see a bit more of the field, and it's always a beautiful view here in sunny Cape Town.